Nal and Kato had always been fascinated by the stories their grandmother told. They lived in a small village where life was simple, but their imaginations took them far beyond. One afternoon, just as the last rays of the sun stretched across the sky, their grandmother called them to sit by the fire. The air was cooling and the desert winds gently tugged at their clothes. She was wise and full of stories passed down through generations, and tonight she was about to tell them something special. Today, she began, her voice low and reverent, I will tell you about the Himba people of Namibia, a resilient tribe whose ancient traditions have sustained them through centuries of harsh desert life. The golden sun is sinking behind the rugged mountains of Namibia, casting long shadows across the red earth. Nala and Kato sit, cross-legged, on intricately woven mats, their eyes wide with anticipation. In front of them, their grandmother, a regal figure in her traditional clothing, carefully stirs a bowl of thick, reddish paste. The air smells of earth, smoke, and the faint aroma of herbs drying in the evening breeze. Around them, the desert is quiet, except for the distant bleating of goats and the crackling of the fire.
Do you see this, my children? This is red-ochre, a sacred blend of butterfat and red-ochre that the Himba women wear every day. It protects them from the fierce sun and makes their skin glow like the red earth.
Why red, grandmother? Why not blue or green? Why does it have to be red?
Red is the color of life itself. For the Himba, it is the color of the earth, the very ground we walk upon, the ground that sustains us. It connects them to their ancestors and to the spirits of nature. Just like the red earth, they are strong, rooted, and full of life.
Grandmother, how do they live in such a place? There's hardly anything here, just sand and rock. How can they survive?
It's not an easy life, my dear, but the Himba are strong. They have learned to live in harmony with the land. The desert provides for them if they know where to look. They herd cattle, which are their most prized possession. Cattle give them milk, meat, and hides. But more than that, cattle are family. To the Himba, their wealth is not in gold or silver, but in the health and number of their cattle.
The fire flickers, casting shadows on the ground as the wind picks up slightly. The grandmother points toward the horizon, where the mountains stand tall, their dark outlines etched against the fading light. A few stars begin to twinkle overhead. The children lean forward, captivated by the story of resilience unfolding before them.
Did the Himba always live here, grandmother? How did they find this place?
Long ago, the Himba were nomads, traveling across the desert in search of fertile land. They walked for miles through sandstorms and scorching heat. Many did not survive, but those who did learned the secrets of the desert. They found springs hidden deep within the earth, and they discovered plants that could survive with almost no water. Slowly, they built their homes and learned how to thrive in a place where most would perish.
Nal and Kato imagined the desert heat and the grit of the sand between their toes as they walked alongside the Himba people, their feet covered in red dust and their faces kissed by the sun. What once seemed like a vast, barren desert now felt alive with hidden life and endless possibilities. The scorching sun, instead of being harsh, felt like an ancient blessing guiding the Himba for centuries. Red-ochre paste, originally a simple mixture of red ochre and butter, now appeared sacred, symbolizing a deep connection to the land and their ancestors. It wasn't just for protection. It was a reminder of the Himba's unity with the earth and their strength through generations. Nala and Kato realized the ochre represented more than survival. It held the essence of the Himba's resilience and a powerful connection to something timeless and enduring. The grandmother takes a small pouch from her lap and opens it, revealing smooth, polished stones. She places them gently in front of the children. Each stone has a faint red worn smooth by the sands of time. She smiles as the children examine them, their fingers tracing the ancient marks left by the desert winds.
These stones are like the Himba people. They have been shaped by the desert, by the wind and the sun. They are strong, resilient, and they carry their history with them. Just as the desert shapes these stones, so too does it shape the Himba. It makes them strong, and in return they honor the desert by living in harmony with it.
I want to be strong like the Himba, grandmother. I want to know the secrets of the earth.
You already have that strength within you, Nala. The Himba do not rely on their surroundings for power. Their power comes from within, from their connection to the earth, their people, and their traditions.
As the fire burns lower, the night sky above becomes a blanket of stars stretching endlessly across the heavens. Nala and Kato sit quietly, absorbing the wisdom of their grandmother's words. The world feels larger now, full of ancient secrets and the strength of those who came before. The red ochre on their grandmother's hands now seemed like the essence of something far greater, a symbol of survival, tradition, and life.
Grandmother, will the Himba always live like this? Will they always be strong?
As long as they remember who they are, as long as they stay connected to their land and their traditions, they will be strong. The desert may change, the world around them may change, but the Himba's spirit is unbreakable. Just like the red earth, they will endure.
Nal and Kato sat in silence, absorbing the depth of their grandmother's words. The night air was still, and the crackling fire seemed to whisper stories of the past. They realized the Himba's strength didn't come from wealth or power, but from their deep connection to the land, respect for their ancestors, and unwavering belief in their traditions. The fire's flickering glow mirrored the quiet resilience of the Himba, who had survived not only the harsh desert, but the changes of the world around them. As the stars brightened and night deepened, Nala and Kato understood an important truth. The true beauty of views of the Himba lay in their spirit, their ability to thrive and endure in even the toughest environments. The red earth beneath their feet and the fire in their hearts represented a timeless legacy of inner strength and resilience, something Nala and Kato now carried with them. The cool desert air welcomed Nala and Kato as they huddled by the warmth of the fire, their eyes reflecting its flickering light. Their grandmother, speaking softly with reverence, began to share the spiritual traditions of the Himba people. She explained that these customs were as essential as food and water, nourishing not just the body, but the spirit. The traditions connected the Himba to their ancestors and bound the past, present, and future. As the flames danced, Nala and Kato felt the significance of her words. The fire wasn't just for survival. It symbolized the Himba's identity, their connection to the land, and the timeless wisdom passed down through generations, ensuring their strength and continuity. The fire crackles gently, sending tiny sparks into the night air. The smell of burning wood mixes with the rich scent of the earth. Above them, the stars twinkle brightly, scattered like diamonds across the black sky, as though the universe itself was listening to the tale unfolding beneath it. The wind sighs softly, adding a quiet, mysterious ambience to the evening.
Do you see this fire, my children? The Himba have a fire, much like this one, but theirs is sacred. It is called Okuruo, the sacred fire. It burns continuously, never allowed to die. It connects the Himba to their ancestors, to their god, Mukuru, and to the spirit of the land.
But what if the fire goes out? What happens then?
The fire must never go out. The head of each family tends it with great care. Through the flames, they speak to the ancestors, seeking their guidance and protection. If the fire were to go out, it would mean a severing of that sacred connection. Without the fire, the spirits could not hear them, and they would be lost.
The firelight flickers on the grandmother's face, casting deep shadows as she adds another log to the flames. The wood hisses and pops as it catches fire, the flames rising higher, warming the faces of Nala and Kato. They watch in awe, imagining the sacred flames of the Himba burning day and night, never fading, always alive.
What do they ask the ancestors, grandmother? Do they speak to them every day?
Yes, child. The Himba speak to their ancestors often. They ask for many things: guidance in their lives, protection from harm, and most of all, for the health of their cattle. Cattle are life to the Himba, and without them, they cannot survive. But the most important thing they ask for is wisdom. The ancestors know many things that the living cannot see. The Himba honor them by listening carefully to the wisdom passed down through the flames.
Okuruwo. Wemi is the sacred heart of the Himba's spiritual life, where decisions are made and blessings are sought. It is more than just a fire. It is a living connection to their ancestors, believed to carry the wisdom of the past into the present. Around its flames, elders gather to seek guidance, ensuring the continuity of tradition and the well-being of the community. The fire symbolizes the unbreakable bond between the living and the departed, serving as a thread that ties generations together. For centuries, Okuruo has burned, keeping alive the memory of those who came before and embodying the spirit of the Himba people. It is a flame that represents resilience, unity, and the eternal connection to their ancestors, ensuring their strength endures across time. The grandmother leans forward, gently stirring the fire with a long stick. The flames dance higher as the night deepens. Nala and Kato sit in silence, the crackling fire the only sound as they ponder the importance of the sacred flames. The stars of Mapua overhead seem to glow brighter, as though they too are listening, twinkling in time with the fire's rhythmic crackle.
Do the ancestors ever speak back through the flames, grandmother? Can the Himba hear them?
Yes, in a way. The ancestors do not speak as we do, but their messages come through dreams, through signs in nature, and sometimes even through the fire itself. The Himba believe that if they watch closely and listen with their hearts, they can feel the ancestors guiding them. The smoke, the flickering flames, they are all part of the language of the spirit world.
Nal glances at the fire, as if trying to catch a glimpse of something beyond the flames. The smoke curls upward into the night sky, twisting and turning, carrying with it the stories of generations past. For a moment, she feels a strange sense of connection to something much larger than herself, something ancient and powerful.
I think I can feel it, grandmother. The wisdom in the fire. It's like it's speaking, but not with words. It feels alive.
That is because it is alive, Nala. The fire carries the spirit of the ancestors, and when you open your heart to it, you can feel their presence. The Himba have always known this. That is why the fire never dies. It is a living connection between the past and the present.
For the Himba, Okuruo is much more than a source of warmth or light. It is the spiritual heart of their existence. The sacred fire connects them to their ancestors, offering guidance and strength through challenges and hardships. It has witnessed wars, droughts, and the changing world, yet it has never been extinguished. Okuruo represents the unbroken bond between past and present, with each flicker carrying the wisdom of countless generations. It burns as a reminder that the Himba are never alone, and their strength endures through their connection to tradition and family. This eternal flame symbolizes their resilience and serves as a spiritual light that guides their path forward, ensuring their identity remains rooted and strong. The night deepens and the wind begins to carry a slight chill, but Nal and Kato stay close to the fire, its warmth wrapping around them like a protective embrace. The sky is now a sea of stars, each one twinkling brightly as if to remind them of the many spirits watching over them.
Grandmother, do you think the ancestors are watching us right now? Through the stars? Through the fire?
Yes, my child, the ancestors are always watching, always listening. The stars are their eyes, the fire their voice, As long as we keep the flames burning, we will never be alone.
Nal and Kato felt the deep significance of the sacred fire, realizing that the Himba's strength wasn't just about surviving the desert, but came from their connection to something far greater, their ancestors, traditions, and the eternal flame that guided them. The fire was more than just a symbol. It represented life, spirit, and history, all woven together. Each crackle of the flame seemed to carry whispers from the past, a reminder of generations that had kept it burning. The fire connected the Himba to their land and ancestors, providing them with strength and resilience. As the night continued, the fire's gentle crackling was a constant reminder of the Himba's enduring spirit. Nala and Kato knew that as long as the flame burned and traditions were upheld, the legacy of the Himba would live on strong and unbroken. On the third night, the fire glowed brighter, as if the stories of the past had reignited it with new energy. The cool desert breeze swirled around Nal and Kato, but the warmth of the flames drew them in as they awaited their grandmother's next tale. Her gaze was thoughtful, and her voice carried a deep reverence as she spoke of the Himba women, the backbone of the tribe. These women were not just caretakers, they were guardians of tradition and life itself, ensuring the future of the tribe by honoring its past. Nala and Kato felt the power of their grandmother's words, realizing that the strength of these women lay in their resilience and quiet but unwavering dedication. The fire danced higher, alive with the spirit of the women who had upheld the tribe for generations, leaving a lasting impact on the children's hearts. Nal scoots closer to her grandmother, her eyes wide as she watches her dip her fingers into a wooden bowl filled with red ochre paste, known as Otjize. Slowly, with practiced grace, her grandmother applies the ochre to her arms, mimicking the daily ritual of the Himba women. The earthy scent of the ochre fills the air, a mixture of earth, smoke, and the faint sweetness of butterfat. Kato, sitting cross-legged beside them, is captivated, his eyes fixed on the smooth, purposeful movements of his grandmother's hands.
The women of the Himba are the keepers of our tradition. Every day, they apply this ochre to their skin, not only to protect themselves from the harsh sun, but to remind themselves of their roots, of who they are and where they come from.
But grandmother, do the women also herd the cattle like the men?
No, my child. Herding cattle is the duty of the men. But do not be mistaken. The women are just as strong. Their work is sacred too. They raise the next generation, care for the children and the elderly, and ensure that the home is always warm and welcoming. Without them, the tribe could not survive.
Himba women are known for their striking beauty, but it is their strength, resilience, and dedication that truly define them. Their glowing red skin, protected by Otjize paste, symbolizes their deep connection to the earth, while their elaborate hairstyles tell the story of their lives. Each braid and ornament, whether made from shells, beads, or leather, reflects important milestones, whether they are married, have children, or their status within the community. These adornments are not just decorative but carry deep meaning, marking the women's journey through life. As a Himba woman's hair and adornments change with her life stages, they become a living testament to her experiences and place within the tribe. Nala and Kato could almost picture these women, their dignity and pride shining brightly under the desert sun, each carrying her history with grace. The wind picks up, rustling the branches of the trees around them, carrying with it the scent of the earth and the faint sounds of the desert. It feels as though the women of the Himba are near, their presence in the air, watching over the tribe. Nal imagines herself among them, her skin glistening with ochre, her hair styled in the same beautiful twists. She can feel the strength of the women in the air, in the earth beneath her, in the firelight that dances in her grandmother's eyes.
I want to be as strong as the Himba women when I grow up, grandmother. They seem so brave and so beautiful.
You already have their strength within you, Nala. Strength is not just in the work we do, but in the love and care we give to others. The Himba women are strong because they nurture life. They give life to their children, protect their families, and uphold our traditions. That same strength flows through you, my dear. You just have to find it.
Nal glances down at her own hands, imagining them covered in ochre like the Himba women. She smiles, feeling a new sense of purpose stirring inside her. Beside her, Kato looks at their grandmother, intrigued by the quiet power she exudes. He had always thought strength was about herding cattle or defending the village, but tonight he was learning that strength took many forms. His respect for the women of the tribe deepened as he listened, understanding now that their role was just as critical as any other. The wind continues to hum through the trees, almost as if it carries the whispers of the Himba women themselves, silent guardians watching over their children and their homes. Nala and Kato could feel their presence in the air, in the flicker of the flames, and in the gentle strength of their grandmother's voice. The stories of the women were not just tales from the past. They were living, breathing reminders of what it meant to be a part of the Himba tribe. The work of the Himba women is never easy, but it is sacred. From gathering food to preparing meals, from raising children to caring for the elderly, every task is infused with love, care, and dedication. Their rituals, like the daily application of Otjizi, are not just for physical protection, but for spiritual connection, linking them to the earth and to their ancestors. The fire crackles softly, casting a warm glow on the faces of Nal, Kato, and their grandmother. The night deepens, but the fire's light keeps them close, a circle of warmth and unity. Nal looks up at the stars, imagining the spirits of the Himba women watching over them, and feels a new kind of strength settle in her heart.
So the women hold the tribe together, don't they, grandmother?
Yes, Kato. They are the heartbeat of the community. Without them, there would be no home, no family, no tradition. They are the ones who carry the wisdom of the past into the future.
Nal and Kato sat in awe, listening to their grandmother's stories, with the firelight flickering softly around them. The tales of the Himba women were more than just stories. They were lessons in strength, resilience, and love. Nal felt a deep sense of pride for the women of her tribe, realizing that their beauty wasn't just in appearance, but in their spirit and dedication to their people and traditions. She understood that one day she too would carry this legacy forward, just like her grandmother and the generations before her. As the fire crackled and the wind whispered through the trees, Nala and Kato knew that the strength of the Himba women would continue to shine, like the eternal flame of their traditions. This strength, passed down through generations, would always endure, unbroken and unwavering, lighting the way for the future and ensuring the spirit of their people remained alive. On the final night, the atmosphere around the fire felt heavier, signaling a shift in tone. The air, once light with playful stories, now carried a sense of gravity. Nal and Kato noticed the change as their grandmother, usually full of warmth, looked more serious. Tonight's story wasn't about ancient times, but about the struggles the Himba people faced in the present day. As the fire flickered softly, their grandmother's eyes glistened in its glow. She spoke of how the world around the Himba had changed. Roads cutting through their lands, new technologies arriving, and modern pressures creeping closer. Yet, despite these changes, the heart of the Himba people remained the same. The story wasn't about battles against nature, but about the quiet, powerful resilience that allowed the Himba to hold on to their traditions, identity, and connection to the land, even as the world tried to push them in different directions. Nala and Kato listened intently, understanding that this resilience wasn't just a relic of the past, but something alive and present. Through their grandmother's words, they realized that though the world may shift, the spirit of the Himba people remained steady and unchanging, like the fire before them. The fire, which had roared so brightly in previous nights, was now low, casting long, flickering shadows across the desert. The quiet crackling of the remaining embers filled the air as the grandmother sat, her face illuminated by the fading light. Nala and Kato sat close, their expressions somber, sensing the gravity of the story about to unfold.
The world has changed, children. It is not the same as it was for our ancestors. Roads have been built through our lands, and new technologies have come to our villages. The outside world pushes us to adapt, to give up our ways, to follow theirs. But the Himba, we are strong. We do not forget who we are, even when the world tries to change us.
But how, grandmother? How do they stay strong when everything around them is different?
By staying true to who they are, Kato. The Himba understand that our traditions make us strong. It is not wealth, technology, or modern conveniences that keep us alive. It is our connection to our ancestors, to the land, and to each other. They have tried to tell us we must change to survive, but we know that survival comes from within, from knowing who we are.
The fire flickers, the flames shrinking smaller but still steady, casting a gentle warmth over the family. The night around them grows darker, the vast desert quiet except for the occasional whisper of wind. Nala and Kato sit, their young minds absorbing their grandmother's words, the weight of what it means to hold onto one's identity even when the world tries to take it away. As Nala and Kato listened, they gained immense respect for the Himba people, whose strength came not only from surviving the harsh desert, but from resisting the pressures of a changing world. Despite the modern world creeping closer, the Himba held tightly to their traditions, way of life, and connection to the earth. It wasn't about rejecting progress, but about protecting their identity and spirit. The siblings realized that the Himba's true strength lay in their unwavering commitment to preserving their culture. This resilience wasn't just about living day to day, but about ensuring future generations could carry forward the wisdom and customs of their ancestors. Nala and Kato understood that real strength is found in staying true to who you are, no matter the pressures to change. The fire crackles softly as the night deepens, and the stars above grow brighter in the desert sky. Nala stares into the embers, reflecting on everything she has learned over the past nights. She feels a sense of pride swell inside her, a new understanding of the power that comes from knowing who you are and where you come from.
The Himba are like the fire, aren't they? No matter what happens, they keep burning even when the flames get low.
Yes, Nala. The fire burns bright because it remembers where it comes from. The Himba people, like this fire, will always burn strong as long as they stay connected to their roots.
Nala smiles, a quiet realization dawning on her. She watches as her grandmother stirs the fire, causing the flames to rise once again, small but steady. Kato sits beside her, silent but thoughtful, his young mind working to grasp the deep wisdom hidden in the story. As the fire crackled and its flames danced, Nala and Kato gained a deeper understanding of the Himba's story. They realized that the Himba's resilience wasn't just about surviving the harsh desert, but about holding on to their identity in a world that was constantly changing. The true strength of the Himba came from their unwavering connection to their culture and traditions, even as the modern world pushed them to adapt. The siblings saw the fire as a symbol of this strength, small yet unyielding. It swayed but never went out, just like the Himba people. They understood that resilience wasn't merely about facing external challenges, but about knowing who you are and staying true to that, no matter the pressures around you. As the night deepened, Nala and Kato realized that the lessons of the Himba would guide them too, just as the eternal fire had guided their ancestors. The firelight flickers over their faces, casting them in a warm glow as the wind rustles softly through the trees. The stars overhead shimmer with a quiet brilliance, as though the ancestors themselves are watching, approving of the wisdom being passed on to the next generation.
We don't need to be like the world, do we, grandmother?
No, my child. We need to be like ourselves. The world may change, but who we are, our traditions, our spirit, that is what makes us strong.
Nal and Kato exchange a glance, both understanding now the weight of their grandmother's words. They had spent nights learning about their history, their culture, and the traditions that shaped their people. But tonight, they learned perhaps the most important lesson of all, that the strength of the Himba lies not just in their past, but in their ability to stay true to themselves in a world that constantly demands change. As the story of the Himba came to a close, Nala and Kato felt it was the beginning of something much larger within them. They learned that resilience wasn't just about facing hardships. It was about staying true to their roots, identity, and spirit, even when the world tried to make them forget. Staring into the small but steady fire, they understood it represented the unwavering spirit of the Himba people. The flames flickered but never died, just like the Himba's strength through centuries of challenges. The warmth of the fire spread through Nala and Kato, symbolizing a quiet promise. They realized that the Himba's strength was not just physical, but deeply spiritual. The fire, carrying generations of wisdom and tradition, would continue to guide them forward, lighting their path through any difficulties, just as it had done for their ancestors before them. The fire burns steadily as the night stretches on. Nala and Kato sit in silence, the lessons of their grandmother swirling in their minds, the warmth of the flames matching the warmth growing in their hearts. They knew now that the fire, just like the Himba people, would never truly go out as long as it was tended with care, respect, and the unwavering belief in the strength of their traditions.